All right, folks, how you doing? RussellTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. A couple free gifts there for you. Just click on that tab. Mind, body, spirit, fitness. Putting the healing back in health. Coming at you today with another video on becoming smarter, finding your inner genius. And of course, it's coming from the book, The Einstein Factor. Great book. Pick it up. There's some stuff I'm not going to talk about in it because of some of my beliefs. I don't believe in it, so you're going to have to get the book for those. Other than that, I'm going to be sharing the stuff that I like about it. So one is, of course, going to be speed reading, learning how to speed read. And just, of course, we all know the way technology advances from day to day, month to month, year to year. You know, sometimes by the time you're actually able to learn something and study it, something new's already come in, and whatever you just learned is already out the window and doesn't really mean anything. So to get ahead in this game of life, you need to be able to pick things up quick. And of course, that's what he talks about, speed reading. But first, we need to understand why speed reading or the reason why this concept works. So speed reading is pretty much scanning the page and just being able to soak up the information. And of course, with this book, it's all about opening and using the right side of your brain more than the left side. So more of that creative side of the brain. So when it comes to reading, there's a lot of things. If you're like I was when I was younger, you know, you can almost read a page, and then by the time you're flipping the page, you don't even remember what you read, and you're reading it word for word in your head, right? So the concept of most speed reading courses, my cousin bought one a while back, and I was kind of looking at it, and it's pretty much how fast can your eye scan the lines or scan the page in general. So the quicker you can scan through it, the quicker you can read the book. And you know, when you think about it in their terms, but it comes down to really at the beginning, kind of eliminating those those useless words, the, of, me, whatever, and just kind of picking up on those bigger words. So you just scan the page looking for those big words, trying to get the concept of the sentence of the page of the chapter without reading all that BS. But eventually it's going to come down to you're looking at the page and you're not even saying the words in your mind. You're not thinking, you're not reading in your mind. You're just scanning the pages. So it's almost like you could just glance at the page. And one of the exercises I haven't done it yet. One of his main exercises though is just to scan the page as quick as you can and then flip it. You know, he said spending like 5 seconds. He even says 1 to 2 seconds, but 5 to 10 seconds just scanning down that page, go to the next one. Scan down that page, go to the next one. And when you think about it, it seems a little absurd, right? How does that even work? And of course, it's like everything else, folks. You're going to need to practice, 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 practice. So practice with some stuff you don't really care about, you know? Like I said, if you can read a whole chapter and at the end of the chapter you don't even remember it, what does it matter if this is how you're doing it? So once again, it's going to take time. You're going to have to slow down and find the correct amount of time on a page that works best for you. But now, why does this work? So the reason why this concept has come into play I think he even said like in the 70s and 80s, before it became popular, was subliminal messaging on TV. So once you start to think of it that way, now it starts to make sense. So your mind can kind of process it, and you're not going to give up when you're not seeing immediate results. Once again, society has fed us this instant gratification. That's not really how it goes. We need to practice until we can actually get to this point of speed reading. It could take 1 month, 2 months. But if it takes 2 months, it's well worth it if you can start knocking out a book every 2 to 3 days or a week, whatever the case may be. So subliminal messages, as you know, is where you're watching TV and something will flash really quick across the screen. And he talked about it at the movie theaters or something with, it would flash real quick on the screen, eat more popcorn or drink a Coke. And sales were going up just by flashing these things on the screen. So once again, like I said, with this whole book, it's about tapping into your subconscious mind and being able to pull this information out and actually use it. It's all in there. You know, they say anything you've ever heard, read is locked in your mind somewhere. It's just being able to access it is the difficulty that we have as humans. So that's kind of what that speed reading does. You're able to glance at it, and the quicker you go and the more practice you get at this skill, of course, the better you're going to get. But like I said, once you're able to understand, they're kind of taking this concept off of subliminal messages from TVs and ads and things like that. And that's where this research is coming from. And I think once you're able to realize that, you yourself will be able to grasp what this technique is all about, and it will help you. Because when my cousin had purchased that speed reading course and I dabbled with it a little bit when he brought it over, it didn't make any sense. How is this going to work? You know, and if you don't understand any of it, then you're usually not going to try and pursue it, even when the times get rough. So, like I said, that's what it is. At first, it's just scanning the lines, trying to, if you're like me, a person that reads every single word, trying to skip over, you know, the words that are just kind of filling in that you don't really need. Like when people use these, you know, like when you're in that image streaming where they talk about trying to describe something with, you know, these incredible words and different ways and, you know, your senses and all this. You know, they do that with the reading, but unfortunately, when it comes to learning something, you don't really need those words, those description words, unless you're actually zoning in on it and trying to understand, you know, and read some love novel or something like that. So, and once again, it's also just before you are reading, you want to make sure that you sit down, you know, take a few seconds to prepare yourself, breathe, calm, get yourself in a learning state and understand what you're really trying to do. Maybe scan through, I think he said scan through the chapter real quick and see if there's any pictures or diagrams and kind of study those diagrams real quick and kind of see what the diagram talks about. So as you're scanning through it, you'll be able to better grasp those things. Like I said, there you go, that speed reading, being able to understand and comprehend the material that you're trying to digest at the time so that it can help you in the future, but doing it, you know, in a fast way and just really being able to help you learn these things. So, and being productive with this time that you're spending in front of the book. So, once again, I hope this helps. Subscribe to the channel, share and like these videos.